Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting episode of Wrestling Prime. I am your host, Tom Dog, and thank you for welcoming me into your home, or however you're watching this right now. Thank you for joining in. We got a pretty interesting show here today. We got a lot. We have some things to talk about. Also too. Some other fun goodies as well. Before we do that, let's tell you that our show is brought to you by the M&J Video Games and Collectibles. You can trade in your old video games and consoles, from retro video games, accessories, and systems. You can trade in your DVD box sets and Blu-rays. You trade in your sports cards and novelty items, as well as wrestling collectibles and autographed items, spanning from sports, wrestling, and actors. If you happen to be in the Connecticut area after the coronavirus, you can check this out. Check this wonderful store out. They have wonderful stuff available and everything. And of course, and plus also they'll have lists of events going on. They're probably canceled right now because of the COVID virus that's going around and everything. But still, to get all the updates that you need, you can check out their website at mjvideogamesandcollectibles.com. So we got some things to talk about. Sorry for the wrinkled shirt. I'm just running around in circles today and everything, and so yeah, we got some. There is lots to talk about here, and I gotta tell you, Wrestle Mania is there's been some WrestleMania news all over the place, and it's interesting every single time. Aside the fact that it's going to be, we get that it's going to be a 2-day event. We get that, we know that. However, we know that Rey Mysterio is quarantined right now. In his home, so he is unable to be there at WrestleMania. He would have wanted to, and I think he was supposed to face Andrade. But that has now been changed. There was a card going on here. Let's see. Some other news that So yeah, this is becoming a really huge thing right now. There was a list of was not going to be there, but apparently I can't find it. So, but there is one thing that I can say. In regards to the Universal Championship match, and that is, of course, between Champion Goldberg and Champion Bill Goldberg and number one contender Roman Reigns. That has now changed because because of the the COVID virus, um, Roman Reigns will not be taking part in the Universal Championship match, and so, oh, excuse me. This is coming from the Pro Wrestling Sheet. And they said that Reigns is not comfortable participating in any Performance Center shows as he is immunocompromised, meaning that because of his leukemia, as everybody will know, last year he was out due to leukemia, and because of the because he has leukemia, he does not want to jeopardize his health. Now, I have a question here. I have a really serious question about that, because I have nothing against Roman Reigns. He's he's one of the big dogs in the company, I guess you can say, and everything. And I have a lot of respect for him, but I have a question. Why now? Why now say that you don't feel comfortable? You should have said something the moment the moment SmackDown went live for the first time at the Performance Center, and say, "Hey, listen, I have to back out. I have to back out of the match because of my leukemia." Could have said something ahead of time there, Roman. I'm just saying. I'm just saying it would have made a lot more sense. But now here we are at the last minute, and they've already did their they're doing their tapings and everything as we speak. So why wait now? Why wait? So why wait now? And it's like, I understand that you don't want to jeopardize your health because of because of your leukemia. I get that. I understand that, but you should have said something when you got interviewed that first night at the Performance Center. I'm just saying. You gave us all you gave out all that hype, and I'm looking at a perspective here that you should have said something ahead of time. I'm just saying. And it would have made a lot more sense, because then they could have had like a little tournament, and then, which, by the way, now the replacement for Roman Reigns is now Braun Strowman. So it's going to be Braun Strowman versus Bill Goldberg for the Universal Championship at Wrestle Mania. And that's how it's going to be. So this came out all of a sudden, and as a matter of fact, this information came up the moment I was doing my Channel X episode. So I as soon as I turned off the camera, that was it. That was it. That's when I got the info that what's happening. So, but like I said, you should not have waited. That's all I'm saying. And then, the Miz, on the other hand, he is also not going to be able to participate at WrestleMania. He was supposed to be defending his tag titles with John Morrison. That match has now been changed to a triple threat match, a singles triple threat match, and so this is going to be, it's going to excuse me, because the Miz is sick. He is under the weather at the moment. So I mean, I wish him well. I wish him well. Um, I don't think it's COVID related, but um, I mean, I hope not. So we shall see what happens. Um, Plus, there's also been because of that, there's also a change too, because from what I understand, Dolph Ziggler is going to be facing Otis at WrestleMania as well too. So yeah, those are the big card changes. Um, Going on. Andrade, as I said, Andrade has an opponent for WrestleMania, but we don't know. I forgot who it was. I don't have. I should have saved the article because it would have made sense. So so we have some more news regarding Vince McMahon. Um, and this is coming from WrestlingNews.co. And it turns out that there are two superstars that Vince McMahon has no plans to do business with. Now, as you know, CM Punk is on WWE the backstage. That's on Fox Sports, I believe. Yeah, Fox Sports. And CM Punk's agent reached out to WWE, and McMahon said that he doesn't want to do business with him. People around McMahon, including Paul Heyman, have not pushed for the idea to bring Punk back. Punk's social media jabs against the company have probably not helped his case. So anybody who thought that there was going to be some sort of match between CM Punk and Seth Rollins, that's now out of the water now. Another former WWE star that McMahon doesn't want to do business with is Alberto Del Rio. Now, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Alberto's recent claims of being in talks to return to the WWE are false. So, Alberto's age and history of Alberto's age and history of personal baggage work against him, which might explain why All Elite Wrestling hasn't reached out to sign him. In Punk's case, you can never rule out a deal being reached for a WWE return at some point, just to keep him away from AEW. So that was noted by Dave Meltzer. So we shall see. I mean, not to say, to be honest with you, not to saying that CM Punk making a WWE return, may not happen, but you never know. You never know. It can still happen. I mean, technically, CM Punk, in a way, he's with WWE, but he's not, because it's a Fox Sports show and that sort of thing. So I don't know what's going on. I really don't. But when I first saw that when I saw his return, I thought it was really cool, and it would have been nice to have a reaction to that and everything. It would have been really, really cool. And but hey, it is what it is. That's all I gotta say about that. And but as far as Alberto Del Rio, there's a lot. I don't have a problem with that, because of the fact that, yeah, there is a lot of personal baggage, and especially when the last time he came back, there was tons of baggage, and plus also, that whole mess with Paige. She just recently came back, so I don't know how good that's going to be with Del Rio and Paige in the same building, unless they're going to unless they're going to be in different brands. I don't know, but I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't think that's going to happen. I think they gave. I think WWE. I think Vince just gave up on. I think Vince just gave up on. Um. I think Vince just gave up on Del Rio, but there could be some hope with. I think there could be some hope with CM Punk, and I think that Vince is taking, says he doesn't want to do nothing. Plus also with the tweets regarding to Seth Rollins. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Has maybe I think Vince is overreacting because a lot of people would love to see that match, especially at WrestleMania. But who knows? I mean we probably would have saw something this year, but in light of what's been going on, I don't think that's going to happen. So, but yeah, it really is, because I would love to see CM Punk back. I really do. I really do. I don't know. It's just me. It's just me. So, um, so WWE has their Hall of Fame, which I'm looking forward to seeing. I hope it's still going to be on. I don't know. Um, but as far as um, but but there's a tradition here on a Wrestling Prime where alumni from now back in the day, I had a show on cable access called Wrestling Prime, and it was pretty successful. We had a lot of fun with that, and I'm not gonna lie, we did some backyard wrestling and everything, and it was really cool. This year, so every year I've been doing this for a while now. Since 2012, 2012 2013, that we're doing a Wrestling Prime Hall of Fame. So for those of you new subscribers out there, and so I induct people that was affiliated with Wrestling Prime back in the day, when it was on cable access, and I bring them all. I split it up a little bit and bring them out there. Last year we inducted T Black. We brought T Black in there. Um, my father, who was a big deal in the show, part of the big part of the show. Um, he's in there. Dan the Man, Danny Justice, Jimmy Snuka, who I also inducted, which was a really good tribute. And so yeah, we had some pretty good names. Um, Sledgehammer also being one of them. And while we're at while I just brought up the Sledgehammer, um, Wrestling Prime Hall of Famer Sledgehammer has got the COVID, and he's taking it. He's taking it one day at a time. He has a positive attitude towards it, and so he's fighting it, and he looks like he's uh, going to overcome it. But we here at Wrestling Prime want to you know wish you a speedy recovery, and so I've had the Sledgehammer. I had the Sledgehammer on a couple years. I think 2 or 3 years now. 2 or 3 years ago. Um, we did the WrestleMania, did the WrestleMania review. He did the WrestleMania review with me at that year. Plus, he was inducted that year too, so that was another reason why I had him on. So, um, so yeah, it was really great to have him be there and everything. So we've known each other for over 20 years now. No, 22 years. 22 years. That's a long time. So so it was really good. Um so but like I said, I wish him well in a speedy recovery, and but he is doing well. From the I last talked to him the other night. He's actually, you know, keep a positive outlook on everything, you know. So he's doing well. He's doing well. So he'll make it out. He'll make it out okay. So so this year we have another induction list to bring out, and this one's a pretty good list um that I have lined up. It's actually really cool. First off is the one they call Hendrix. He he debuted in he actually debuted in 2000 in a match against another inductee, T-Bone. So he is those two names are going to be inducted into there. They had a good match, and one that I was officiating, and which led to one of the most talked about um, mishaps in Wrestling Prime history. What had happened was we were in a spot where Hendrix was supposed to spear into T-Bone. T-Bone will fall, and T-Bone will fall on me, and all three of us will go down. We did our spots and everything, and we practiced it, and did a rough draft on it, and we did very well. Then we went live. And and so yeah, that and so we went live. Hendrix, we did our spot. Hendrix spears into T-Bone. T-Bone falls into me. However, instead of landing on my spot, we were off a little bit. Heat of the moment. And this is the only time where heat of the moment is allowed, by the way. This is the only time I will never. This is like the only time where I will say heat of the moment, because it was that good. What had happened was I fell back as planned. However, we missed our mark, and instead of landing on the mark that I was supposed to land on, my head went first into a wall. One of these walls here. Barely missing the beam by this much. So my head went through the wall. There was a basketball-shaped hole which cost $175, and to this day, everyone's still talking about that spot. To this day, everyone's still talking about it. No matter where I go, they're like, "Oh my God, that's him!" It's like, and I still remember that time where you hit your head. When your head went through the wall, man, that was crazy. It's like, yeah, the match was really crazy. So these were two debut. These two guys were debuting on our roster, and they never fought before, and they fought against each other. So these are two new guys fighting against each other in their debut match, and it ended in a no contest. It ended in a no contest. So it was actually really good. It was a good. It was a good match. It really was a good match. so, yeah, it was actually really good. It was really good. Um, and some other big some two big names is also going into WWE WWE announcer for Japan, Funaki. I had had an opportunity to meet him last year at M&J Video Games and Collectibles. It was really good. We had a lot of fun. Actually, there's a video up that we did last year, so feel free to check it out. Also, I also had an opportunity to meet another inductee from last year at Horror Fest in Naugatuck, and it was from Ring of Honor, Vincent. And everybody know, for those of you who watch Ring of Honor, know who Vincent is. And so yeah, I had an opportunity to meet him, and he was really cool. He's actually a really cool guy in person. Really cool guy. So I get to see him every now and then. I get to see whenever I see him post on, I'll say hi to him or whatever and everything like that and everything. So it's really cool. And also I don't have a female. I forgot if there was ever a female in there, but there isn't. There is a female in there now. Luxurious Lynn. So I remember her back in the old Sports Palace WrestlePalooza days and everything. So she's really cool and everything. So she probably doesn't remember me because look at me. I didn't have all that facial hair back then either. Maybe like some dirt right here, So yeah, Luxurious Lynn is going to be a part of the Wrestling Prime Hall of Fame. So there is one more list, one more member of that elite club, and he's going to be the headliner of he's headlining the this year's Hall of Fame. Sir Ryan Steele. He is he was our commissioner for Wrestling Prime for a couple of years, and he also brought in Steel Angel at that time. He was also a manager at one time. Who brought in Steel Angel. So yeah, he's going in there as well. So congratulations to the inductees of the Wrestling Prime Hall of Fame. That honor definitely does go to each and every one of you. So, all right. So, I'm just seeing if there's any more wrestling news that I need to. Oh, we have a report. We have a breaking news update that just happened. So this is a shocker, folks. And you're hearing it here first on Wrestling Prime. You are hearing it here first. And this information is coming from Slice Wrestling. They just posted this just a little bit, And you're going to be, and this is something I talked about last week. Brock Lesnar, and it involves Brock Lesnar. He was not in a pleasant mood at this week's Mania tapings, as he let WWE Chairman Vince McMahon hear an earful during WrestleMania 36 tapings at the Performance Center. Lesnar was not happy with Vince McMahon for making everyone attend tapings and moving forward with WrestleMania 36 and not postponing the show. Brock felt that it was greed that is the driving force behind this year's Mania, and that Vince McMahon came off as not caring for everyone's health. I talked about something like this last week. Lesnar informed WWE production that he wanted to film his match with Drew McIntyre and go immediately home. WWE officials tried to explain that a strict filming schedule was in place and that he would have to wait his turn in line. At that point, Lesnar immediately searched out for Vince McMahon, who at the time was meeting with other key WWE officials, and demanded to film his match earlier. Brock also let Vince McMahon know, vulgar language included, that he thinks him making everyone come in and tape. He thinks of him making everyone come in and tape the show. There was also an issue with pay scale bonuses, with some superstars will be taking a hit on due to there being no crowd, but financially Lesnar is wealthy, and the main disagreement was about the show. So according to Slice Wrestling, many WWE superstars agreed with Brock, and that is the only one that would talk, and that he is the only one that would talk to Vince in that tone and get away with it. So, yeah. So this is breaking news. This is breaking news. And so yeah. Now so I don't blame him there. I do not blame him here. I really don't. And to be quite honest with you, hold on a second. This is huge. This is really huge. And Brock Lesnar is right. It's like I said last week. Why, I don't know what's going on with Vince. I don't know what's going on with Vince, but with Vince. But seriously, for someone who's against being sick, there's nothing wrong with postponing the show. There's nothing wrong with that. It could be done. Who knows? It could. We could go back to business. Back down at the near the end of April. Who cares? Or maybe even May. Who cares? I mean, just let something happen, for Christ's sakes. This is what, this is what's gonna piss off people, and not, either they're fans of WWE like I am, or or superstars themselves, that they're putting a lot of people, they are putting, that he is putting a lot of people at risk. And, you can't blame, in a way, you can't blame Brock Lesnar for doing what he did. However, he should have did it sooner than last minute. I'm sorry. I'm talking from a business perspective. And Brock Lesnar, same thing. Why instead he should have said something ahead of time and say, "Hey, listen, he should, since he's the only one that could talk, that can talk to Vince, Brock Lesnar could have said exactly what I would have said last week. Either have some people come in that's not, that does work in the that does training at the performance center with their with their families, so that they could get a bird's eye view of what a WrestleMania would be like. I'm just saying, they could have did something there. They could have filled some seats with WWE personnel, whatever. Someone who hasn't been seen before, would have worked. But Brock Lesnar should have said something. Again, this goes back to what I was saying about Roman. Why wait now to say something instead of knowing that there's taping going on, knowing that there's production going, on, this and this. Why wait now? Because you're just going to delay the inevitable and just screw up the entire program. You should have said, some of the, this is what pisses me off with some of these wrestlers, is that they're not saying something sooner and waiting at the last minute, so that maybe Vince would have changed his mind and said, "Hey, listen, okay, I made a mistake. Maybe I made a financial mistake. We're going to postpone WrestleMania till May. Do it that way." But no, Vince wants to be Vince and wants to, he's not really, he's already taken a financial loss. So why risk it by doing something that, by putting your wrestlers at risk? It's like, think about it. You have Roman Reigns leaving because he's already at risk of getting it because of his leukemia. You have Mike Mizian, who's already sick already, so he's not going to defend his tag title with John Morrison. So, and then you have Rey Mysterio and I think Mandy Rose or something. That's Dana Brooke. They're quarantined. They can't leave, and we don't know if they tested positive for corona. We don't know. So there you have four names. Three of them being big. I don't know how big Dana Brooke is, but she, but seriously, these are some big, big names. And you're putting them all at risk. You really are. Think of what they're doing on backstage. I mean, you had they're doing their shows from home, and Renee Young was on there, and her husband Dean Ambrose just happened to be on there. So And that was a big discussion and everything like that. So again, Vince, why are you taking them, giving them a risk? Vince, now you're too late. You could have done the right thing. In Florida, I'm also mad at you because you should have stepped up and said, "Hey, listen, you guys aren't doing a show. Go home." I'm just saying. You said that you were going to step in if nothing was done. Technically Vince did something, but it was the wrong decision, and right then and there Florida should have said, "No, you're not doing it. You're not doing it, period." It should not even be. He shouldn't. See, that was Florida's big mistake. Florida gave Vince an option. You should not have given him an option. You should have gave it him an. You should have given him an ultimatum, or whatever the hell you call it. You should have given him an ultimatum, saying, "Listen, either you shut down, either you postpone WrestleMania and all of its events, or we do it for you." You should have did that, but you didn't. You didn't do it. You gave him a choice, not an alternative. I'm just saying. So now, this year's WrestleMania is going to suck because of the fact that you got everything changing. And not only that, kind of leaked out that in a way, you kind of leaked out that Drew McIntyre is going to win because you openly said that you got to have that WrestleMania moment. So figuratively, you kind of spoiled the illusion. You spoiled the surprise that Drew McIntyre, even though we already know that they were pushing for Drew McIntyre's victory anyways. So now nobody has a WrestleMania moment. And this year's WrestleMania is gonna suck because of it. I'm not saying that the matches are gonna be lousy. Far from it. They're gonna be good, and the matches will be good. It's just the fact that without, it's like I said last week, without an audience, you're not going to get that drama. Because Vince, you know this, Vince, that you are a big fan of emotion and drama, and what better way to do that is have it at WrestleMania, where there's nothing but dramatic effects. When you had that WrestleMania match, when you booked that WrestleMania match between Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat at WrestleMania 3, still one of the best WrestleMania matches of all time. You had something. It was drama there, and you loved it. It was passionate. Last year's WrestleMania with Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan, one of the greatest matches of that year. It was emotional. You had the whole entire arena openly weeping. You had me, a die-hard wrestling fan, openly weeping. And I haven't openly weep like that since Ric Flair lost to Shawn Michaels, which is another dramatic moment. So you have that WrestleMania moment there. You have these WrestleMania moments there. Even when Hulk Hogan body slammed Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3. It was emotional. It was emotional. now you're going to take that all away? You're going to take, Drew McIntyre's moment of becoming champion. You're going to take away that moment of Bill Goldberg passing the torch to Roman Reigns. You lost that opportunity to make something happen, and it was going to be dramatic. No matter how many people would think about Bill Goldberg, currently right now, the fact is that that Bill Goldberg was slated to pass the torch to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and now that can't happen. And I know that the coronavirus isn't, this COVID is not nobody's fault or anything like that. Something like that, it happens. But Vince, I'm mad at you because of the fact that you should have done the right thing and postpone it. Who gives a crap about the money? Nobody cares about the money. Apparently you do. And yeah, I'm turning this into a rant because I am mad. I am literally mad. I've been faithful. I'm always going to be faithful to the WWE product. I'm always going to be loyal to the WWE product. I'm always going to be passionate about the company that hails from Connecticut, my home state, in your home state. I'm basically a hop and a skip and a jump away from your building, from your headquarters. And right now you want to take that risk. You want to take that risk to have loyal die-hard fans. I mean, some loyal, trusted superstars say, listen, you should have done the right thing. And now, years from now, when they retire or when they go into another, or if they go to another company, they're going to do, and they get slated to do a shoot, they're going to remember this time. They're going to remember this moment where you should have done the right thing. You're going to have a lot of top guys leaving the company because of the fact that you chose to put your own ego ahead of your colleagues. And I'm sure a lot of people, and I'm sure a lot of staff on WWE staff would agree with that statement. That you should have done the right thing. Because you should have. You had a lot of people, and who knows? But the superstar should have had more guts than Brock Lesnar to step up and say, "Listen, we're not going on because this is pointless. You're putting us all at risk." What should have happened? What should have happened is that the superstar should have went on strike. Said, "Listen, we're not going on until you postpone the show." You would have all this talent picketing outside, and say, "Listen, we're not going to fight because you're putting us at risk." And a lot of these guys aren't making any money aren't going to be making money off of this except for the merchandise. Except for the merchandise and the network buy rates. That's it. So you're putting these guys at so Vince, you literally made the wrong decision since day one. You literally made the wrong decision. You should have made the right decision and say, "Listen, say, listen, you should have said, okay, we'll push WrestleMania to May. Would have been fine, or at least allow some people in that work for the company, that legitimately work for the company, that aren't active on the roster. Basically, people who are working for WWE in developmental and would have been, would have filled up those seats with their families. I'm just saying. But no, you didn't think about that. You didn't think, you could have had some money come. You could have had some money come in, but you didn't. May would have been fine. May would have been fine. But now you have your top guy. You have your top guy basically getting into your face and saying, "Listen, you're making a big mistake here." And I don't know if Brock Lesnar's going to stay after this. He might leave and go back to UFC after this is over. Who knows? But Vince, you dropped the ball. You legitimately did. Whether you want to admit it, whether you agree with that or not, I really don't care. But coming from a fan of your product for 40 years, 39, 40 years, I have to tell it like it is. I'm still, regardless though, I'm still going to be loyal to your product. But Vince, you need to step down. I'm sorry, but you need to step down as chairman. You need to give the company to Stephanie and Hunter and Shane. Let them run the company. Let them do whatever they want with it. And do what they have to do. But Vince, you're basically making wrong decisions lately, and it's actually breaking my heart because I'm your biggest fan, and it really hurts me to see this happen. I feel hurt to see this happen. And it's not a good thing to do. It's not a good thing to do. Because now we know that there's not going to be any seats. That there's not going to be any seats, and it's going to be. It's not going to be It's not going to be a good show. It's not. I don't know how you're going to do that. I don't know how it's going to be done, but you better hope that there's some sort of miracle out of this, because I'm telling you right now, it's not looking good. It's really not looking good. And WrestleMania is next week. So basically you got to think of something, because it's not looking good at all. And on that note, that's all for tonight. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at TomDog247. If you missed any of tonight's episode, be sure to check it out as soon as I turn off the camera. And if you're new to this channel, leave a like if you thumbs up the video if you like it. Comment down below on what was Brock Lesnar wrong, or what do you think of what Brock Lesnar um, feels about this year's Wrestle Mania. Ring the bell to stay notified of what I'm going to be doing next. And to be the man, you got to be the man. And the only way to be that man, you have to beat the champion. You have to be the champion. And the only way to do that is by laying the smackdown on that subscribe button. Till next time, this is Tom Dog saying take care, so long, peace.